And that just goes with keeping the customer first. If you're keeping the customer first, you want to make sure that you're doing everything possible to serve them, whether it be just checking on them, sending them constant emails. I know that a lot of companies send their employees and customers emails just to keep them updated with the store, and just to know, let the customer know that we care about you and your experiences. If you have any issues, please let us know. And they make sure that they keep that relationship there, so you can, in the long run, have a return customer. I remember when I used to work at Kroger, we used to always have to make sure the customer was satisfied, make sure the customer was taken care of. I used to personally take groceries to the customer's car and then swiftly get back to my cash register so I can serve the next customer. The customer is just a very important part of a business because they're in the money they spend at the establishment helps the establishment to flow and helps people get paid. You know, it keeps jobs circulating. Also, another thing for zones is that they can just be transparent with the customer as far as the thievery issue when it comes to personal data, because nobody wants to shop somewhere with somebody who doesn't keep it 100 with them, as some people may say, or just being straightforward with the customer and let them know what's going on. Like, for example, zones, if they did have an issue with security, they can just be transparent with the customers and let them know that, hey, we had an issue earlier, someone breached the system and files were taken, but they weren't your files, but they were taken. And we have taken drastic steps to make sure that this doesn't happen again. This is step A, this is step 2, and step 3 to let you know this is all the steps that we've taken to make sure that nobody else's data or personal files are taken. I remember back in a couple of years ago in one of the companies, somebody actually hacked. I believe it was the U.S. system, and the U.S. system was hacked, and a lot of personal information was taken. And luckily, I don't think anything was done with that information, but it was caught. And thankfully, they did let the public know what happened with their files. So we would now, because they let me know what happened with my files, I'll be more likely to continue my business with them because they were honest with me. And granted, I did not feel safe or comfortable with my files maybe being tampered with as a customer, but I'm happy that they let me know so I can take more precautions to keep my documentation safer. That just goes back to when zones relationship building. Once someone sees that you are honest and upfront with them, then they'll continue to come back to you for business. Another thing is that relates to the theft issue. Some steps that can be taken is just a checks and balance system. Um, just to, I believe I stated it earlier with the checks and balance system, just continue to make sure that you have one department doing one thing, and then you have another department doing another thing, and maybe another department doing a completely different thing. But all of this will contribute to one ultimate system that will produce that one product that you need. Because if you have one department doing every single job and it's all gonna contribute to that one product, then it's gonna just open up people's minds into thinking that they can get away with certain things. For example, I use Kroger again. When I worked at Kroger, we had accountants, and the accountants, they handled the money. So they would take our tills into the room and they would count the money. But anything could happen in the room. They could easily switch some documents around. They could have did anything with that money. And sometimes we did have cases to where some things were being stolen. Usually, when that used to happen, we would have to go ahead and make sure that we counted our tills, and that was part of our checks and balance system. Was to one, count our till when we first received it, and two, make sure we print out our ticket at the end, and the ticket basically indicated how many transactions happened on our till. So once the till got turned in, and if somebody did may have switched a couple of dollars around, then it would show up later on in the system, and ultimately it would save someone's job. And that's just for zones. Relationship building and transparency is something that's very important for them. They have been a very successful business, but those constant reminders just to be transparent and keep their relationship building strong are some good pointers for them. That concludes the case study A portion. Hope you guys got something from this video. I do appreciate everyone who has tuned in to watch it. And thank you. Have a great day.